LeBron.
Yeah, I don't even know that I would describe it as disrespectful. I just thought it was funny.
I do too. I'm with you.
Steph Curry, by the way, playing in a Web.com tour event this weekend as well. All right, now the biggest unanswered question of the summer here. What will the three-time defending Eastern Conference champs look like next season? And if you're LeBron James in particular, what's going through your mind as you hear about this trade request, and now this wedding video silliness on top of all that?
You know, I think, Matt, when we watched the finals, well, for me, my opinion is, I said, you know, the way they're handcuffed financially, and they lost to the Golden State Warriors. Once you lose to a team, you know, that is talented as the Golden State Warriors, it usually take a year. You thought, well, if the Golden State Warriors don't get it right this year, they will definitely get it right next year. They came together and got it right this year. And if you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, for me, it's like, what can they add to match that?
Right.
And I really couldn't figure out anything other than maybe, say, a DeMarcus Cousins that would give them the decisive advantage in the low post. But what other player that you could add without taking away from that team to have them beat the Golden State Warriors? And I thought that was really a slim chance. So I look at it right now as it's just time for Cleveland. They've had a fantastic run. I think they still can get to the championship,
right,
but I don't know if I have confidence in them, obviously, of just saying they'll be my favorite starting the season.
And that's trade or no trade,
right,
because you can add another player, but at what expense? You're going to have to give somebody up. You can't just sign a Kevin Durant without losing anything the way Warriors did last season. All right, let's say Kyrie Irving winds up in training camp, as Dan Gilbert suggests he will be, and is on that roster. What about the relationship between Kyrie and LeBron James now?
You know, I think the one thing about difficult situations, Matt, I think, Kyrie, LeBron, and the Cavs, if he does, like you say, reach training camp, this has to be resolved before you get there. Because if not, this is going to be something for us. I would love to do that training camp just to get a chance to see how this plays out, because it's so much going on. And also the situation where LeBron is a free agent next year. And then Kyrie Irving, I would suspect at any time could sign a extension. Probably won't, not knowing his situation. So this is going to be very difficult for that organization to move forward and win, in my opinion, unless they squash it before training camp.
Of course, LeBron James' free agency is all part of the equation as well. There's widespread speculation he's going to walk and leave Cleveland again, maybe for L.A. next summer. Kyrie obviously is aware of that as well. And by the way, in the middle of all this, the Cavaliers have a brand new general manager, Kobe Altman. Welcome to the job. By the way, this is what you're facing.
Matt, I'm so glad you brought that up there. He is unbelievable, because how many teams have reached out to him since Kyrie said he was wanted to be traded, or allegedly wanted to be a trader? Probably 28 teams have reached out to saying they want to get into this, and he has his hands full. The Cavs do, for sure.
Well, Kyrie reportedly is angling to land in San Antonio, perhaps New York, Miami, or Minnesota. But for more on another possible destination, let's welcome in Greg Moore, columnist for the Arizona Republican. Greg, it's been reported that the Cavs were ready to move Kyrie to Phoenix if the Suns were willing to send Eric Bledsoe, a first-round pick, and rookie Josh Jackson to Cleveland. How close to fruition did the deal come?
Hey, what's up, fellas? I can't say. I don't know that the Suns are looking to make that move, because we've heard all about the process out in Philly. Well, out west, what they have is the timeline. So the whole Phoenix thing kicked up when Eric Bledsoe said, yo, I love it in Phoenix, but I'm looking to be part of a winner. Well, the timeline isn't about winning right now. The timeline is about getting ready for the future. So if you bring Kyrie over, it doesn't necessarily fit with that. The thing is, Phoenix has got so many assets and so much out there that they could make the deal happen. So that's enough to get the conversation going.
Greg, Steve Smith, the question for me is, Matt kind of listed the teams Kyrie Irving said he wanted to or would like to be traded to, and I didn't see Phoenix on that list. So you're telling me the organization is willing to take that chance with a player of his magnitude, not willing to say that's one of his teams. So in your opinion, Phoenix would still want to do that deal even if Kyrie has said that's not one of his destinations?
I don't know that they would, right? I don't know that they would want to do that deal, because I don't see how it fits in with what owner Robert Sarver and general manager Ryan McDonough have laid out as the plan, which is to build through the draft. What they say is that the collective bargaining agreement is such right now that building through free agency is less likely to be effective over the long term than building through the draft. And so if you look at what they've put together, Devin Booker, Josh Jackson, a lot of young talent, Marquise Chris, and players, they're just looking to be young, develop together, and then be ready to win soon, not right now. At least that's the plan that was announced. And so, again, I don't know that Kyrie necessarily fits. The thing is, he's just such a fantastic player that when you've got enough assets to make that deal, it's enough to create the rumors.
And he's still just 25, an all-star, obviously in his prime or heading into his prime, perhaps. You mentioned the timeline. Phoenix fans have had to buy into that and watch these young guys develop. Where are they on all of this?
Two camps. One camp says, yo, we haven't been to the playoffs in 7 years. Go get us a stud. Let's see some winning basketball. The other camp says, actually, Ryan McDonough's right. This is the way to do it. Let's stop doing these stopgap free agent signings that aren't likely to be an effective strategy for the long term. Let's look at the Golden State Warriors as a model. Let's draft young guys who can grow together. Let's get a coach like Earl Watson, who's very much in the mold of Mark Jackson, who is a kind of guy who can help players grow as men as well as ball players and create this sort of atmosphere where folks are going to stick around and stay together.